All right, today, folks, we're going to talk about vertical, complementary, and supplementary angles. Our essential question asks, how can I calculate angle measures using vertical, complementary, and supplementary principles and rules? Okay, so the very first thing that we should do is identify those terms, in my opinion. So we got vertical, complementary, and supplementary. All right, the idea of vertical angles are angles directly across one another. This is different from the idea of them being adjacent. So adjacent is what we talked about last time. They're not adjacent. They're directly across from each other. Sometimes they're sharing a vertex. They are congruent as well. Complementary are angles whose sum equals 90 degrees. So however many angles it creates, but they make a 90-degree angle, so right angle. Supplementary angles are angles whose sum equals 180 degrees. These are straight angles. They make a straight line. All right. So if I give you this information, we'll call this angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and we'll say that this angle right here is 98 degrees. Mr. Morrison's favorite band from high school. So, using our rules and our ideas from our vocabulary, vertical angles are directly across from one another. That means angle 2 is vertical from this. And since they're congruent, angle 2 is 98 degrees. They're straight across. The hard part is I have to identify what angles 1 and 3 are. So I kind of cover up all of this. I see that this angle 1 and the 98 degrees are making a straight line. They're a straight angle. That means their sum should be 180 degrees. So I got to figure out what number plus 98 equals 180 degrees. And when I do some calculations, I figure out that that's 82 degrees. So I can figure out angle 3 easily. Two different ways. 1 and 3 are vertical, so angle 3 is 82 degrees. Or 2 and 3 are supplementary because they make that straight line. If I kind of hide that other part there, they're straight angles. Okay, so that is how I can kind of use logic here a little bit to figure out missing angle measures. Sometimes, though, I'm going to have to use algebra to figure information out. So let's say this angle is 3x degrees and this is 27 degrees. Obviously, we're going to try to figure out what x is. I know that these two are vertical angles, so I can use the idea of 3x equals 27 because they are the same measure because they're vertical. So I just go through my equation rules, divide by 3 on both sides, and I get x equals 9. Now it's just 9. It's not a degree until I plug it back in. If I needed to, I could use the idea of straight angles to figure out these other missing angles. 180 minus 27 gives me 153 degrees, and this would be 153 degrees, but it's not really asking us that. We kind of just want to figure out what angle x is. All right. So this is the information we have now. We have a right angle. This angle down here is 20 degrees. This we'll call x degrees. So we have to figure out the measure of x. The best way that I can do that is I can say angle x plus 20 should equal 90 degrees because it makes a right angle. So if I subtract 20 from both sides, I know that angle x is 70 degrees. That's what should be remaining. If I'm given a straight angle, and I say, okay, this here is 75 degrees here. We want to know what this is. Same idea. X plus 75, but it's a straight angle. It's a straight line, so it's going to equal 180 degrees. Subtract 75 from both sides, and X equals 105 degrees. Now, you might have to use some algebra to answer other equations and figure out other angle measures. It might get a little bit more complex. I might give you something like this. So you're going to have to maybe figure out a decent amount of information. Well, I know over here is a right angle. So I know that this information all of it over here should add up to 90 degrees. So 2x plus 8 plus the 10 degrees should equal 90 degrees. That's what I have over here. I don't have to worry about that stuff. So I'll combine my like terms, and I get 2x plus 18 equals 90. Subtract 18 from both sides. I get 2x equals 72. Divide by 2. I get x equals 36. So I know x is 36. But then I have to figure out y. Well, that's pretty straightforward. It's a straight angle. This half's 90 degrees. This half's got to be 90 degrees. So I don't have to really do any calculating. I should just know y is 90 degrees. Notice x is not 36 degrees. It's not a degree until I plug it back in here, into that small expression. All right. I hope that helps answer your questions, if you may have any. Any questions, let me know.